What's going on, YouTube family? Back with another vlog, or whatever you want to call these travel itinerary talk throughs. I don't know, but yeah, it's K-Souls. I'm back. Subscribe, like. Today I'm going to take you through my short trip to Switzerland. It was basically a layover flight. I was going to Crete, and I stopped over at Switzerland, and I thought this is a perfect opportunity to look around, get some content, you know. So I'm going to take you through that. So yeah, it all started at Gatwick. Took a flight from Gatwick to Geneva. Sometimes I get confused because the way it's spelled is Geneva, but also some people say Geneva, but I've seen it spelled both ways, like so EVE at the end and EVA. So I still wonder which one it, like, what do I say? Do I say Geneva or do I say Geneva? Because I've heard people use both. But anyway, went to that airport. First of all, can I just point out something here? As Brits, we may think we have won the race. Well, I'm sure a lot of Brits know now that we haven't really won the whole, we haven't really proven our point in the whole Brexit thing, because for me, like, we suffer more when we travel. I know there's more logistics and more stuff behind it all, but it just feels like since we left, the cost of living has gone up. We're struggling, like, I feel like the country's struggling generally. I don't know shit about shit, but the way things are looking, it looks a bit peak. And the travel aspect is that now, when we're queuing up, we got to join the international queue instead of the EU queue. And the EU queue was basically empty. The international queue was long. So I was in a queue for like over an hour just to come out of the airport. You know, when you go through, what do they call it? Is it customs when they check your passport? Yeah, so that was the first experience. That took a while. And funny enough, like, when I got there, I realized that because I'm doing the layover, I don't really have much opportunity to charge. I did have a power bank, but for this trip, I'm not gonna lie, I was quite unprepared, so my power bank was also empty. So I was thinking, oh no, I need my phone. Just generally, you know, when you're out and about, not just for entertainment purposes, but I knew I needed my phone. So the first thing I wanted to do was find somewhere to just charge up my devices, make sure I've got enough battery. Oh yeah, another thing is because I film a lot on my iPhone, so I kind of need to save a battery for filming and just for general use of the phone, you know. So basically, so that was my first plan, to find somewhere to charge, but I couldn't find anywhere in the airport, which is crazy because usually you can. Maybe where I was looking, I didn't find. I even asked someone and they pointed me to like some benches that had some USB ports, but the USB ports didn't work. So that was kind of a flop. So anyway, back to the whole thing about the stopover. So I had, like, let's say 5 hours in Switzerland. Yeah, and that's including travel time. So 3 hours to really play, but 2 hours I put as travel time. Even though from the Geneva airport, the city centre is literally like 5-10 minutes on the train. When you're on an actual train, it's like a 5-10 minute journey. But I just gave travel time an hour just in case there's any flops, any delays. You know, when it comes to planes, I do not like missing planes. Okay. So anyway, so in total that was three hours to play. So the first thing I did was I got a train ticket, which was only like €3. So that was good, because we're gonna get into the cost of things in Switzerland. Like, it's expensive, but that train ticket to the center, the city center, is only £3 or €3, which is good. So I got that ticket, got to the train station, missed the first train because I left my adapter in the USB port. I was just a mess at the beginning of this trip. I was just a mess. But yeah, I left my USB adapter, and I realized when I got on the train, so I had to quickly run off the train and then go and find it. Luckily it was still there. Got it, came back. Then there was another train coming in like 10 minutes. So I got on that train. One thing I would say about the trains already, very clean, and you have people walking all through the train, you know, picking up litter as they see it. So like they've got people specialised to work on that, like cleaners ongoing. I don't know if that happens in London because I drive a lot, so I don't really get on public transport that much, but last time I checked, not really. But now in Switzerland, I noticed that they take pride in keeping things clean. The journey was literally 5-10 minutes. I got to see a bit of, you know, some views. That was the whole point. But really and truly, in my head, I was thinking I wouldn't mind a long journey, because then I get to really like get content. I get to really see Switzerland or see Geneva. Do you know what I mean? But it was really straightforward. Like just 5-10 minutes. Saw some of the infrastructures, the buildings, you know, just things around. Of course, the moment you get to Switzerland, you will see the Alps, the most famous Alps. I think slightly will only be lit to see that really in the winter when it's proper snowing and cold. But I still got to see that, and that's the main thing. You'll see it in the footage. When I got to the city centre of Geneva, I went straight to Starbucks because I just thought in my head Starbucks would definitely have a place that I can charge, and obviously I could start the day with some coffee. Yeah, so the travel started at like 6 a.m. Well, earlier, because I had to, the first flight was 6 a.m. So you know what that means. Coming from London, you probably have to leave your area, depending on how close you are to the airport, around 2-3, you know what I mean? So I literally didn't sleep the night before. And then the funny thing is, when I was on the flight to Geneva, I kind of was so tired, fell asleep on, like, I struggled, you know what's annoying? Yeah, I struggled to sleep on an aeroplane, obviously because I'm tall, stretching my legs, and when I can't really stretch my legs, even with extra leg space, because I'm 6'5", so like I always struggle to be comfortable on an aeroplane. But for some reason, on a short flight, because Geneva's like an hour and a half or something from London, so like on a short flight, I nearly kicked into a deep sleep. Like literally, I only heard, well, it wasn't a deep sleep because I heard when they announced that we've arrived, and I woke up like, you know those when you wake up from a sleep and you're not really ready to wake up, like you want to go back to sleep. It was one of them, and I've never experienced that on a plane. I've been always on a rush to get off the plane. So yeah, we got there early, on time basically, and obviously it was go from there. So that's why as soon as I got to the city centre, first thing I wanted to do was have a coffee and charge. And you know, Starbucks is always reliable like that. You always have a charging point and whatever. But this was my first experience of the expensive lifestyle in Switzerland. Now, we say our cost of living has gone up, but Switzerland, yeah, I don't even know if it's always been like that, or maybe it's their version of a cost of living crisis. I don't know, but it's expensive. Like I feel like I paid my go-to in Starbucks is a white chocolate mocha. I pay $4.95 or $4.50. $4.95 I think it is if without the rewards. I don't know, man. Between $4.50 to $4.95. I don't really check too much, but I know it's in that range. But in Switzerland, I think it was like the equivalent of €8 or something like that. And you know, euros is catching up with the pound. Like I think they even level. Like it moves up and down, but they either level, or when you change and get charged a commission, you're actually going to get less euros in this day and age than what you would, like before. Back in the day, you would get more euros for your pounds. Now it's like you get less, which is weird. So yeah, it's nearly like double the price of a white chocolate mocha in the UK Starbucks when it comes to Swiss. But obviously I don't know, there may be over in Swiss they maybe they get paid more, I don't know. But yeah, so I had one, and I think I had a croissant as well, and yeah, I just charged my stuff. I was just in Starbucks. One other thing that I did not clock is it's better to go there with Swiss francs or exchange your pounds or wherever you're coming from. If you're going to Switzerland, exchange it for Swiss francs. A mistake I made was I exchanged my money for euros because I was going to Crete. And that was, like I said, that was just Switzerland was just a layover. So I exchanged into euros, thinking that because Switzerland is in Europe, I'll be able to use the euros there. They do accept euros, but I'll tell you the catch in a second. So I knew they accept euros. I thought I could use my euros there, so I don't need to get Swiss francs. But what happens is if you use your euros, they calculate it. And for me, who's got time to be doing the calculations each time what the equivalent of 6 francs is in euros? I ain't got time. And they also give, and another thing that makes it long is that they give you back your change in Swiss francs. So if you spend euros in Switzerland, they'll give you back your change. Well, from my experience, they gave me back my change in Swiss francs. And I spent money in about, so I would say I went to Starbucks, I went to a chemist because I had a headache, I ate something out there, I went to eat, train ticket as well. Everything came back in Swiss francs. Like, there was no euro change. So, because it's just a bunch of numbers, it's a bunch of working out, I was just taking what change I could get. I didn't even know whether I got bumped or not. I couldn't be bothered because I was spending petty cash. I was just buying small things, you know. So that's one thing I would say to make life easier. If you go to Switzerland, change to Swiss francs. That trust me, because that experience was a bit crazy. So I went to Starbucks, and then once I was charged to a decent level, I had my coffee, I was more rejuvenated, is that word? Once I was energized, yes, that's better, I started to walk through the main city part of Geneva. It was cool, it was a nice little walk. I got to see everything, saw the buildings. It just reminds me, one thing about Switzerland that I would say is it reminds me of Europe. Like, I've been different parts of Europe, like France, Prague, Amsterdam. There's not much difference in the building structures, the way things are, but it was decent, it was clean. Yeah, so I took a walk down the main road of Geneva. It's very simple. You come out of the station, you walk straight across the road, you walk straight down, and I got to the huge fountain that everyone talks about in Geneva. The big waterfall that's so tall, and it's like, it just does. You'll see it anyway, check it out in the video. But I went to go look at that, you know, take some pictures, take some content of the area, and I think it's called, they call it the Jet d'eau. Excuse me. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If you don't know already, they speak French in Switzerland. A lot of French, like, it's like English. And some people spoke English, but most people speak French there. So that Jet d'eau, I think that is even a French word. And but basically Swiss and France are basically joined, like, as countries. As far as I'm aware, the Alps join over to France. That's not factual, but that's what as far as I'm aware of. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so everyone speaks French there. And yeah, so that was called the huge fountain is basically called Jet d'eau. It's a nice view. It'll be good to see it in the summer, I guess. I saw it in the spring. But yeah, I guess that's part of tourism. And then behind that big lake that you see, the Jet d'eau, is you see the Alps. I think, like, it's the moment you enter Switzerland, you just see Alps, like, in the far end of every direction. So yeah, it was good to see that. And I saw the the Philippe Patek Museum. I wanted to go there, but I didn't really have much time. literally, yeah, I just walked around and I came back to the airport and went to go and board my flight. But what I would say that I found with Switzerland, it's I don't really have much of an opinion on it. It was cool. It's like a city break that I would say. I think if I was ever coming to Switzerland again, it'll probably be to really do some skiing and snowboard and all of that stuff, and really go to the Alps, really go and stay there. But I saw a bit of the city. I got a taste of the culture. It was cool, expensive. The meal I had, okay, it was my fault because I spent so much time walking around that I forgot to sit and eat at a restaurant. That was the plan. So I ended up eating at the airport. And I swear my meal, I think I got like a small pizza, donut and a drink. It cost me €20 for that. In London, the equivalent of that, I wouldn't spend more than £10. So yeah, Switzerland is expensive. I got some Swiss chocolate. You know they make the Swiss chocolate. Another thing that I noticed that to them, what we see as luxury in the world is very standard to them. Like just walking through the train station and the airport, I saw so many ads for watches, like top end watches that rappers speak about, athletes speak about, like just advertised standardly. All like what I know, these get advertised everywhere, yeah. So that's not really a surprise. But like the way it was like every part of the station, there's a different watch, Swiss watch that they're promoting. So yeah, I noticed that, and shops standardly selling designer brands. And to really enjoy Switzerland, you probably need money, and I feel like money is a standard thing there. Like it's not even like a like it goes without saying. Do you know what I mean? Obviously there was like homeless people there, but that's gonna be in every city. And yeah, it was a decent layover. It was an adventure for me. I was on my own. It was like a little solo thing, and yeah. So my overview of it was a nice little experience. If you ever do have like a layover to Geneva or whatever, I think it's a good opportunity to see it and go around. I don't see the appeal to have a holiday there unless you're doing the whole skiing thing. But yeah, it's cool. I didn't have no problems. I enjoyed it. It was an adventure, like I said, and that's it really. So yeah, big up. Thank you for watching, listening. Please subscribe, like, comment, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Watch out for my Crete vlog coming soon, and we out.